The Girl in the Red Dress. Chapter 1. The Journey to the Gorge. Alex, Maria, and Dan were driving along the winding, dusty road leading to Boom Gorge. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the landscape and painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Alex was at the wheel, excitedly discussing their plans for the weekend. "This is going to be great," he said, maneuvering the car around a bend. "No city noise, just us and the wilderness." "Yeah, unless we get eaten by bears," Maria joked from the back seat. "Or haunted by the ghost of the girl in the red dress," Dan added with a smirk. Maria nodded, remembering the article she had read about local legends. The story of the girl who committed suicide because of a broken heart was one of the most famous. People claimed her spirit still roamed the gorge, searching for her lost love. "I think it's just a story to scare tourists," she said, "but it's still creepy." When they finally reached the trailhead, it was nearly dark. They unloaded their gear and started hiking towards the campsite. As night fell, the atmosphere grew thick with an almost palpable sense of mystery and unease. Chapter 2. Night by the Campfire. After setting up their tents and starting a campfire, the friends sat around the flames, enjoying the warmth and quiet. Maria decided it was the perfect time for some ghost stories. "So, are you ready to hear the real story of the girl in the red dress?" she asked, looking at her friends. "Sure, let's hear it," Alex said, settling in comfortably. "Okay, here it goes. They say many years ago, there was a girl named Elena who lived here. She was incredibly beautiful and kind, but her heart was broken when her lover left her for another. Driven mad by grief, she threw herself off the cliff and died. Since then, her spirit has wandered the gorge, searching for her unfaithful lover." Maria began. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed from the depths of the gorge. All three froze, listening intently. It was an eerie whisper, like someone calling from afar. "Probably just the wind," Alex said, though there was uncertainty in his voice. "I'm not so sure," Maria whispered. "Maybe we shouldn't take any chances." Chapter 3. Alex disappears. The next morning, Alex was gone. Maria and Dan woke up to find his tent empty. They searched the camp and surrounding area, but there was no sign of him. "Maybe he went exploring the gorge," Dan suggested, though his voice shook slightly. "But why didn't he tell us?" Maria asked, worried. "That's not like him." They started looking for tracks that might indicate where Alex had gone. To their horror, the tracks led to the edge of the cliff. They called his name in panic, but the only answer was the echo of their own voices. Chapter 4. The Ghostly Figure. That evening, Maria and Dan decided to stay at the camp, hoping Alex would return. As darkness enveloped the gorge, they heard the strange sounds again. This time, they saw a figure of a girl in a red dress walking along the edge of the cliff. "It's her," Maria whispered, clutching Dan's arm. "The girl in the red dress." "We have to do something," Dan said, moving towards the cliff. But the figure vanished before he could get close. Maria began to pray, hoping it would help calm the spirit. Chapter 5. The Truth Unveiled. The next day, they met an old local man who told them the true story of the girl in the red dress. He explained that Alex wasn't the first to disappear in these parts, and that the girl's spirit couldn't find peace. "You need to perform a special ritual to free her soul," the old man said. "Only then can you hope to get your friend back." Chapter 6. The Final Confrontation. Maria and Dan decided to perform the ritual, following the old man's instructions. Under the full moon, they went to the cliff with the necessary items. During the ritual, the girl's spirit appeared again, this time more furious. "She doesn't want to leave," Dan shouted, trying to complete the ritual. Maria and Dan joined forces, chanting prayers and reciting spells. Finally, the girl's spirit began to fade, and with it, her rage dissipated. Chapter 7. The Resolution. After successfully completing the ritual, the girl's spirit disappeared, and Alex suddenly reappeared, with no memory of his ordeal. The friends left the gorge, knowing they had become part of a story that would be passed down for generations.